Tammy Bruce hosts Get Tammy Bruce on Fox Nation. We're always happy to have her on. Tammy, thanks so much for coming. So, look, I disagree with Kamala Harris on a whole bunch of different things, but in a normal year, you could kind of point that out, and we would have a debate about those things, and I think the country benefits from that. The system they've set up right now is that Kamala Harris gets to say whatever she wants, but you can't complain or else you're kicked off the internet. How does this work?
Well, and it's interesting. It's not just our perception that this has happened. My column that is hitting Fox News tomorrow morning deals with a memo that Democrat operatives, women with as surrogates for the Biden campaign, Hillary Rosen, a Clinton operative, NARAL, Planned Parenthood, etc., created an ad hoc group called We Have Her Back. And they sent this missive to media organizations telling them that if there is a critique that they don't like, it's going to be racist and sexist. And they're going to call it out, and they're going to be watching. And then they created a list of things that you weren't really allowed to ask about because these were forbidden, and that includes or even question whether or not someone was capable of leadership. And you shouldn't show pictures of this woman, whoever the nominee would be now, Ms. Harris, Senator Harris, in any kind of an emotional position, like if she was yelling or looked emotional, because that is a stereotype of women. You also were not supposed to talk about appearance or even history or background, even if the candidate liked to talk about her background. You can do none of those things. Now, and what this is meant to do, of course, is to make bookers, producers, anchors, writers afraid of saying or asking anything about her or being critical at all, lest you be in this environment declared a racist or a sexist, because then, of course, as we know, you will be canceled. You will likely not ever work again. But they're trying to create, Tucker, you know, they've got Biden in a literal basement. They're now trying to create a virtual bunker for Senator Harris at this point. I don't know what they're afraid of.
This is someone who seeks to control the country and our children's future, the future of our nation. Don't we have an absolute moral right under the Constitution to say what we think of her plans? It's hard to believe the media would go along with censorship in a moment like this.
Well, even more so. The real sexism is that memo itself. They are saying that a woman, and particularly a woman of color, has to be treated like an infant, that she is too fragile or too weak to be able to handle sometimes the unfairness that will happen in the arena. They say when they talk about not being able to talk to her about, or whoever the nominee would be, now we know Ms. Harris, about appearance. What have they been doing to Donald Trump for the last 4 years? His weight, his hair, his hands, joking about the supposed color of his skin, and yet none of that is allowed for the woman. As a woman who thinks other women should have power, we earn it. You can become elected, but you become a leader when you can face the reality of the arena.
Of course. And
now the Democrats are saying, don't talk to Biden because he can't handle it, but don't you dare look really at Kamala Harris, because that's a little bit too a lot of weakness there. It's very strange.
The most cynical thing I've ever seen. We're not playing along, and you're not either, so I appreciate that. Tammy, thank you.
Thank you, Tucker.